I'm Chris Martirano here with American Music and Sound and our good friends at Kraft Music. I'm going to be showing you the Nord Stage 2 today, an awesome instrument. In fact, you can't see a rig these days that doesn't have a color red in it, whether it be on a TV live orchestra or whether it be at a local club. Make sure you check out Kraft Music for the great bundles. They put together all the accessories you need to get the most out of your Nord products. The Nord Stage series comes in 3 different models. They all feature the same architecture, the same engine, and the same features. The difference is the keyboard action. Today I'll be demonstrating the 88-note hammer-weighted action. This features graduated hammer weight with lighter hammers in the top and heavier hammers in the bottom. It also comes in a 76-note with hammer-weighted action or a 73-note that features a famous organ-style waterfall key for those people comfortable doing swipes and synthesizer sounds, primarily organ-based players as well. Let's take a look at the Nord Stage 2's architecture. The architecture consists of 3 separate sections. You have this tone wheel organ section, which by the way features other organs other than a tone wheel. You have some classic 70s and late 60s organs as well that are fun. Then you have a pianistic section that allows you to get to electromechanical sounds, acoustic pianos, electric pianos, claves, harpsichords, things of that nature. And then you have this synthesizer section. Each one of these is completely independent. The piano section alone has roughly 60 voices of polyphony. The synth section has 18 voices of polyphony, and the organ section is virtually unlimited polyphony. So none steal from each other. They all operate as independent, but they can be layered and combined as though they were in a single kind of architecture. And then you have an effects section that can be assigned to individual sections. You have a global EQ, and then you have a compressor and some global reverb, which is really nice. So let's just dig into the piano section first. There's just a very big knob at the top. I'll turn up the volume and only the piano's on right now. And we'll listen to a piano they call the Grand Imperial. We've just been listening to Nord's brand new recording of their Grand Imperial, which is a beautiful sounding instrument. Across many dynamic ranges, we don't hear kind of these switch points that you hear often in multi-sampled pianos, especially in ROM playing instruments. If I play very quiet and get louder. This is true of all their pianos. We'll listen to another one. This one's called Lady D. They've gone to a lot of trouble to capture a lot of the realism of an acoustic piano, such as sympathetic string resonance, which is really awesome. I'm going to demo that for you now. If I just hold some notes very quietly bring them down so that we don't hear the hammer actually strike, and then strike harmonic notes that relate, such in this case I'm holding an octave of C's. I'll hit a G and a C. We can hear that ringing, which would happen on an acoustic instrument. If I play notes that are not related harmonically, such as C sharp, we're hearing a little reverb. I'll shut that off, so we just hear no ringing, but I'm still holding this octave of C's down. Again, notes that don't relate, no ringing. Very, very cool. And that is happening the whole time I'm playing the piano. We're getting this sympathetic ringing that's beautiful. They also modeled the pedal noise. Using one of the Nord pedals, you can actually control the amount of damper noise you hear, and it's also velocity sensitive. So if you were to stamp on the pedal really hard, you'll hear some hammer noise of the hammers lifting up. The Nord Stage 2 features 500 megabytes of memory that they allow you to load in anything from their library that you like for the pianos. They've got all kinds of different categories. So go to their website. It's free to you as an owner of Nord Stage 2. You can download any kind of pianos, electric pianos, upright pianos, claves. Load them in. They also, by the way, have done the same thing for the synth section. So you have 380 megabytes you can load into that section of samples. Very, very cool. I'm going to show a couple of the electric pianos at this point. Here's one of the 6 Tyne electric pianos that I have loaded in right now. I'm going to use them in concert with the real-time effects. So right now, I'll just play it without any effects. If I hit hard. So I'm going to put on a nice stereo panner. Little reverb. Here's one that features a lot more bell. Let's have a listen to the Reed electric piano. Really great. Players that know already about Nord, they swear that the electromechanical instruments are the best, and they are. They're really awesome. With a couple of quick pushes of a button, I can add a quick chorus effect here, and I can get that kind of classic sound. Little EQ I can put on and quickly adjust that and make it a much brighter and more cutting sound, a little less bass. Really, really authentic. I've owned the original, and I can tell you, I love this. I don't have to tune it. I don't have to work with soldering and all kinds of crazy stuff to keep it working, and it sounds amazing every time I turn it on. There's claves and harpsichords, but in the interest of time, I'm going to jump onto another section right now. I'm going to go to the organ section. So I'll switch off the piano section, turn on the organ section, and immediately what we notice is we have these virtual kind of drawbars. So a push of a button is going to illuminate them, essentially pulling them to me, pushing the top button, essentially pushing them in. You can get used to this system very easily. So I'm just going to show off a little bit of this. I'll put a rotary emulation on, so we'll hear it inside of a rotary. This was a very mild and well-behaved organ. I play a lot more prog music, so I like a lot more distortion, a lot more overdrive, a lot more character to the organ. So I'm just going to doctor it up a little bit here. I'll add some overdrive, and I'll add maybe a little touch of EQ, and just kind of fatten it up a little bit, and I get... Might put on percussion. So that was a little more of the prog rock kind of sound. If I want to move more into a jazz idiom, I can kind of readjust to a drawbar setting I'm familiar with in jazz. Maybe I'll turn off the percussion, and I'll use no overdrive, and maybe a little bit more of the reverb, and I can get a nice sound. So let's take a look at now combining two front panels for the organ. I want to make a split organ patch, which is very common. Often on the dual manuals, you had a straight bass line going, and you had a really great burn-in lead type of sound. So I'm just going to start with my bass sound. And then on the top, I want to create an organ sound that's going to have a little more character. I'll put on the chorus vibrato, maybe percussion. So now I have these two different panel settings. One is this bass, straight, and one is the burning sound. So now I'm just going to put it into split the keyboard, and I'm going to tell the bass sound that I want it to be only on the bottom, and I'm going to tell the top part of the organ, the screaming part, you can hear no chorusing, no percussion. Anyway, the organ is really authentic. You can make what you want out of it. There's also the ability to overdrive or use a brake on the rotary so you can stop it. So now we're going to go from spinning to actually dead stopped. We'll turn off the chorus vibrato just so we don't get confused with that sound. Now we want to start the rotary from a dead stop. I can do this from a foot switch. I have a foot switch down here, keeping my hands on the keyboard. It's really great. You also have a Vox Continental and a Farfisa. I'm going to show off the Vox Continental at the moment. By a simple press of a button, we toggle between the tone wheel organ or these other two models. Right now I've selected the Vox, and the interface adapts itself to the model that we're playing. You have 6 drawbars and then this high and low boost that you got that were customary found on the Vox Continental. I'm going to take it out of a rotary and put it into an amp, which sounds really great. We'll put it into one of the 2 amp models. If I put on a little bit of the vibrato, it's really great. Let's listen to the Farfisa model now. The Farfisa model had rocker switches to adjust the various stops that you had, and this uses these virtual drawbars now as on-off switches or toggle switches, so we can create a patch very quickly. We'll put it in a brighter amplifier. Add a little vibrato. So we'll take a look at the synth section right now. Don't let the word synthesizer fool you, because you can download samples into this section as well and use them in the synthesis architecture. They have a ton of Chamberlin, mellotron, and other analog synthesizers. Again, visit Nord's site and you can check out this huge library. Up to 380 megabytes can be put into this section of your own choosing. I'm going to start out by just let you hear some of the mellotron samples, which are awesome. The display will show you the name quickly and then disappear back to the program name, which helps you when you're making programs. You can also see the program name that you're creating, but you can see the elements inside it. So this is a full string section, tremolo strings. Change the filter setting. Just a handful more. Cellos, beautiful stuff, solo violin. So these samples are really, really cool to work with, and then you can mix them with the synthesizer sounds. Again, as we discussed, you have these ability to have a separate synth section, piano, organ, but then you have the ability to have two different front panels live at the same time. So if I jump over to slot B, I can have a different synth sound. And now I can combine them by pressing the two together. This is where we can show off a little bit of this morphing technique that they use so effectively. Right now I'm going to use my mod wheel, and I'm going to use my mod wheel to turn up and down this harp component in the sound. So I'm going to press this button that's marked mod wheel, and then I'm going to turn the parameter that I want to adjust. In this case, it's the volume. So now the mod wheel knows that it wants to move that parameter, and I say okay, fine. And we can see the parameter moving visually even before we hear it. So maybe at the same time I want to turn down the volume of the other sound. So I'll have the other sound, the synth sound, up full. I'll double press my mod wheel again button and then turn it down. And now we can see that it's working in reverse. So now essentially I've created a crossfade. So I get the balance exactly that I want. And again, I could be morphing the filter cutoff, I could be morphing the envelope settings, all at the same time with this one macro control. It's very, very cool stuff. There's a great offering of filters, the kind that you're looking for when you're doing synthesis, like a 4-pole resonant filter, a 2-pole resonant filter, low pass, high pass, notch, band pass, with keyboard tracking, and again you have all the envelope control shaping over that as well. They provide a mono and a legato mode as well, so that you can do nice leads. You could pick a sound and quickly put it into a mono legato. You have portamento, glide. They also have an arpeggiator that's very cool. So you can really great to have a front live panel where everything is right at your fingertips. And they have buttons here that you can store your favorite patches to right away for immediate access live. They even have provided a separate section on the front panel just to control your external MIDI gear, which is really useful. And again, because you have a panel A and a panel B, you can control two different settings for this external module, allowing you to bring other gear into your mix and use this as a control surface as well. All right, let's put the Nord Stage 2 to its test here. I've now used all three sections times two front panels. So again, I could have 6 splits or 6 layers or whatever, but I decided I'm going to take the organ, I'm going to use the morphing section here, morphing control, and use my CC pedal, which you can see turning up and down drawbars. I'm also going to use my mod wheel here to do some creative morphing with the volumes between the sections, and also with some filter cutoff. I've got some great effects, so let's hear what this sounds like. I'll just play around with it in real time. The Nord Stage 2 are awesome instruments. They're alive right at your fingertips with control, allow you to modify the sounds in real time or call them up, no hunting through menus. They're a real joy to play, and the actions are really beautiful. Make sure you check out your bundles with Kraft Music. They've put together all the accessories so you get the most out of your products. I'm Chris Martirano. Thanks for watching.